Hi everyone, thanks for coming back to the channel. Today we're just going to look at some slab books I have that I was able to retrieve fairly easily, meaning I didn't have to move a lot of boxes or shift a lot of stuff on the shelves to get them. The first one we have is Army of War 166. I bought this with some other comics, so the shipping was already included. I think I paid $20 for this book. The grade, the cover itself looks like it's about 7.5, 8.0. I do see some flaws on it, but without knowing the interior, 6.0 seems kind of harsh, and I'm not going to pay for grader notes for something that I paid $20 for. So I'm going to keep these in their bags while I show them if they have bags. This is New Teen Titans number 12. George Perez, I really dig his art when I was younger. I think he was a great artist. I've noticed that he does like to draw a lot of people in the cover, very detailed. It seems like it's more realistic. Someone like Frank Miller doesn't seem to draw a lot of people on his covers, but George Perez, the way he draws and the details he puts in. He was such a great artist, and that's one of the reasons I loved the New Teen Titans so much. Next here we have Wolf the Barbarian number 1. I bought this before the movie rights announcement was made, but a lot of the characters seems to be influenced by Marvel characters because many of the creators left Marvel to work for Atlas. And this character, Sword and Sorcery, was probably influenced by at least Conan. There were some other characters at the time. I know DC had like Stalker. Another Atlas book I bought before the movie rights were announced. Iron Jaw. This is actually Barbarians number 1. 9.6. First appearance of Iron Jaw? The label doesn't say, so it might not be. Next book I have here is Miss Marvel number 5, double cover. And I've actually recently saw another copy for sale. So generally when you see a double cover comic book that's a printing error, you don't see very many other copies, but right now someone has other copies, rather pricey, but if you're into double covers. And I do think that the outer cover does make a difference, because you want the best grades for both covers. You don't want a lower grade on the outside, and it's not as presentable. So this one is 9.4 inside and 9.2 exterior. This is Journey into Mystery 107, first appearance of the Great Gargoyle. There's a comic shop that had a 50% off sale, and even at 50% off, most of the prices weren't that exceptional. Maybe if it had a 65% off sale, it would be better. So I paid, on this one, I paid 100, whatever half of that is, and my math is stolen today, it's like $145. And even at $145 is okay price. But it's the first appearance of Gargoyle, and I'm completing my Journey into Mystery collection. Just the Thor run for Journey into Mystery. Here's Daredevil number 9, CGC 8.0. That's like my little project book. I have several copies of these in like the 7.5, 8.0 range. Even a few that I bought to try to practice, cleaning and pressing. I haven't done it yet, but one day I will get around to playing around with the cleaning and pressing of some of these books. Probably should start off with something less valuable. But I have a few that I bought just specifically to see if I can test and clean these Daredevil number 8s, number 9s, to see if I can get it, to have some kind of comparison to what it would grade out to be. Here's Daredevil number 90, Daredevil number 45, CGC 9.4. I actually didn't pay a lot for this book. I was surprised. I think I ended up paying like $65 for it, not including shipping though. Here's Savage Combat Tales, number 1, 9.6. This guy, I believe, is influenced by either Sergeant Rock or Sergeant Fury when he was in the with his Howling Commandos. So that's another reason why these characters might not do great if there's any movie adaptation, unless they do something exceptional or bring it to the movie screen first before DC and Marvel or any other company that has comic rights. This is the one shot. I bought this at a convention I went to about a year and a half ago. It's the first comic convention I've been to in a very long time. I bought this right after they announced that Submariner was going to be, in a movie, but the prices hadn't taken off too significantly. I think the person had it for $165, $175, and I ended up paying like $135 for it, maybe, or $145 for it. This is an autographed copy by George Perez of the deluxe New Teen Titans. I remember actually buying this comic book, thinking one day it's gonna be worth a lot of money and stuff. But this comic book is probably pretty abundant. I think number 1 in your mint is only worth like $5 ungraded. What's scary about this particular comic is, before I go on. I met George Perez back in the 80s when I was a teenager, and he was a really nice guy, and I met him again, and he was a great person, very nice. I remember the first time I met him, he was selling his artwork, right? I think they were like, $35, $40 a page or something like that. And one of the pages he was selling was the splash page for, I believe, the last page of Crisis on Infinite Earth number 1. With the Monitor finally appearing. The Monitor had always appeared before that in like silhouettes, or you couldn't really see his face. And he had it, and he wanted $75 for it, for that splash page. And that's a lot of money for me as a teenager. With $75 in comic books at like 60 or 70 cents or 75 cents, I could buy like almost 100 comic books for that price. So. If I had the income back then, I would have bought more original art, especially from George Perez, which I thought he was. I would have bought his New Teen Titans art. But the one problem with this comic book I see is there's like indention. I don't know if you can see it there, but there's several indentions right there. Looks like, and then I know there's one there and one there. So I kind of worry about that. I don't think this one has an inner well. It's hard to see. Maybe it does, but there's some indentation in the plastic on the inside of the plastic, not on the outside here. If you watched this video up to this point, I thank you very much for watching. The next book I have is something I debated about whether I should show or not. But I think I will go ahead and do that. Some of you might know him as Captain Thunder. Others will know him as Captain Marvel. And some of you might know him as Shazam.